up, Matt? I'm getting in late. Just had some last minute stuff I needed to take care of. Actually, emergency stuff, so we're just going to wait until everybody drifts in. This is why I usually start the live stream 10 minutes before time, but not today, actually. So what you up to today? And I'm not the king of trolls. Well, maybe a little bit. Possibly. Let's tell everybody to come on in. Oh boy. Just send out a nice little message, let everybody know that I am here. And we'll kicking it off. Let me make sure that's, yeah, that's on. Oh boy. Where's that thing? Go to channel. Midnight Run is live now. Here we go. See this stuff here. Well, it's going to be a different robe KCB that I have coming in. But you guys will like that. But this will also be the Q&A as well. I need to change that to UTC time. There we go. I'll have to do it on all of them, but oh well. I want to see some paisley and animal prints. I'm not that type of fancy person to actually do animal prints and stuff. That's just not me. Well, while we're waiting, why don't we watch a cartoon? Unlike a good cartoon. Nah, African dictator. I've worn that dashiki before, KCB. I mean, I've worn it before. But since it's a little bit quiet, so we're gonna watch a little cartoon while we're waiting for everybody to come on in. Why not? Oh, if you got kids around, you better cover your ears. Or if you're at work, you may want to put this on silent. Y'all know what's gonna happen next.
Trick or treat! You really are the other sister. This is motherfucking Easter time, not Halloween, you Cadbury cunt cream. Damn, You got Down syndrome so bad, you probably got up, left, and right syndrome too. Those better be white motherfucking Easter eggs, or else I'm gonna boil that egghead of yours in vinegar. We gonna colorize these eggs like Ted Turner rubbing his sugar stick all over a printer top of returns. Now you prep the functions while I desegregate the colors.
These eggs have yellow eyes, but if I turn them, the yellow is gone.
You goddamn retard!
Purple haze running.
You know what I like most about Easter? The Easter egg hunt. Speaking of egg hunts, I went on one this morning when I had my period.
That's the nastiest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, well, you know what I heard? I heard that if I pumped your paternal Cool Whip into the toilet with my maternal stank stream, then stirred it around with your better cracker fuck muscle, I can close the lid and in 3 days a fucking baby would crawl out. Then my life would finally be complete.
Yeah, once everybody comes in, we'll proceed with the Q&A, just to let you know.
Oh.
I've had it with these fourth quarter shoes. Daddy, I need to be flashing fresh kickers on the street, or them niggas ain't gonna flash me no bread. Did you hear that, Crispus Attucks? She said niggas.
Don't you motherfuckers know that the NAACP is trying to get us to stop using the N-word?
Doesn't the NAACP stand for niggas arguing and constantly protesting? I thought it stood for niggas angry about Caucasian people.
No, that's wrong too.
Niggas aren't always cocking pistols.
We ain't ever gonna make it. It stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
Why do they want us to stop saying nigga?
'Cause it's disrespect.
Looks like I got some stuff coming in, so tight. Hey,
Respectful and degrading to our people.
Yeah? Well, so is motherfucker, you niggardly motherfucker.
Huh?
If they're gonna ban the word nigger, then they gots to ban.
Oh boy. Alright, looks like everybody's in, so we're gonna tune this out. Gonna get to the Q&A. Alright. Alright, y'all can go back to work. You can uncover your kids' ears, because everything's gonna be alright. But one last thing.
Ban the word motherfucker, because motherfucker is disrespectful and degrading to all our mothers. And last I checked, there was a hell of a lot more mothers out there than there are niggas, you motherfucking nigger! Whoa!
Alright. What's going on with you, that guy? I hope you're doing well. But you guys heard about, someone sent me a message about Powerhouse in Delray Beach. I'm aware exactly what happened. I mean, the signs was pretty much there when they didn't even have a toilet that freaking worked. How in the world can you run a gym without a toilet, you know? That don't make no bit of sense. So, subsequently, it looks like the fire marshal shut it down. Brad's going to be out $300 as well as anyone else that signed up. Now, if they paid by credit card or Amex, they should be able to get their money back. But knowing them, they probably paid cash in order to get signed up. So there's not going to be any... It's not really going to be anything they can do about it. And it'd be a waste of time to go to small claims court or anything. So that really sucks. Oh, boy. Hey, Jay Masters, what's up? Just doing the midnight run, UK. Feel free to ask me whatever questions out there. But we're going to go over a couple of little mini things. So feel free to ask me any questions if you like while I'm getting work done. But don't call me father. I'm more or less brother. So J Masters can be father. I will be brother. Alright? I think that's only fair, you know. J Masters can call himself father. I'll call myself brother, you know. Beats the other words y'all come up with, like porch and stuff. Which that's been used for like what? Like 4 or 5 years? You're boring me out with that. Oh boy, let's see who else is around. Let's see, I done cut that all off. Oh, need to do one other thing. Why does that keep doing that for? Says that it's going to be buffering, but it shouldn't be.
Those are good schedule and hours at cricket. Perhaps the pay is worth it. Be a cricket employee.
Vince Goldrum with a $200 donation. You always take good care of me. What actually happened is the amount that they offered was if I got commission. So they were really paying minimum wage. So, you know, I can go to, if I really was going to do that, I can go back to Verizon and work retail. I think it was just disingenuous. But the good thing is that's a franchise, so I can actually go to another cricket that's owned by a different franchise. I'll get a better result, but it explains why they're probably trying to hire people. And the only reason why I'm really getting a job is because I need to get that credit report, because then I'll have to wait 2 years if I want to purchase a house. But again, thanks for the donation. Like I say, you always take good care of me. But yeah, when it comes to the phone business, I was working directly for Verizon. Now, I can go and work for a authorized retailer at Verizon. They'll hire me any day. It's just that the pay is going to be a lot different. They're going to focus more on commissions. But the thing is, with the authorized retailer, if you get a phone through an authorized retailer, you not only get charged an activation fee, but the authorized retailer also charges a setup fee. So you got to be really careful. Make sure, and this goes for AT&T and T-Mobile, make sure you're going into the actual store instead of an authorized retailer. That's if you want to avoid the additional setup fee. You're going to have to pay an activation fee regardless, even if you try to call in. Especially at this point in time where you call in and you're speaking to someone that's not from this country or anything. But you definitely have to be careful. If it's not you, the only thing you need to do is ask a sales rep if it's an authorized retailer or not, or you can just simply Google it. But stay away from authorized retailers, at least for the major companies. Things like Cricket and stuff like that, they really can't charge you more than what they are because they are prepaid services. Well, KCB, this is next year. No, we're not going to do video reactions. That's tomorrow, that guy. This is the Q&A. Just good old this is classic Midnight Run material. So this is, I mean, because I have two React live streams, but some people actually complained that they couldn't ask me any particular question, so that's why I set up this additional one. But that won't be till next year. Next year it's gonna feel itself out. Hey, Pugman. Yes, Cricket is owned by a franchise. It's owned by Suncom. There's a number of different franchises for Cricket and Metro PCS, and soon to be, well, Total. You're gonna notice a bunch of Total by Verizon stores open up soon. But that at least is owned directly by Verizon. But I would be working for an authorized retailer, Pugman, if I was going to work at Cricket. But I just need to find a different franchise. The situation won't age. It'll end. Trust me, KCB. Not only that, you have to also remember that it also depends on the area you live in. You see, I live in Piedmont, you know. So the housing market really hasn't affected this particular region, but because, you know, this isn't New York or Chicago. So homes are always going to be on sale, and, you know, you're always going to get a pretty good deal down here. Recently I went and toured a two bedroom, 2-bath house, and it was really nice. It was all refurnished and everything, or excuse me, all refinished. Everything was pretty much brand new and everything like that. Kitchen was redone. You know, bathroom, everything in and out, hardwood floors, and it was only $175,000 for that house. It was real nice. I think I showed some pictures on my Instagram of the actual house. Let me see. Let me show you this here. I did put them on Instagram. You know, folks, I got to really start using my Instagram more often. I'm pretty bad about it. I really am. Yeah, this here, let me show you guys this here. So this here was the home I was going to purchase, or when I toured. Like I said, look at that roof. Brand new. You know, the house is sandblasted. I mean, everything was all nice with this. And that was another house. This one here was $225 for this house. So there's a lot of good properties, and both of these were in Piedmont. So like I said, there's good real estate around here, so I don't really need to worry about it. Oh no, that wasn't a mobile home, Pugman. Those are houses with foundations on them. Oh yeah, you should see the backyard. I mean, this is on a half acre of land. Of course, they've been sold already. So, but like I said, there's a lot of good real estate. I'm not even going to show you the third house. That place was in a dump. It was a nice house, but the surrounding area was horrible. Well, Pugman, those were ones with concrete foundations. Both of them. Both of them were foundation. Yeah, one moment, folks. That up. Damn people, telemarketers. I forgot to cut off my business line. Hang tight, folks. Yeah, I'm on TRT, 1 injection a week. But yeah, anyhow, the next house I get, Pugman, it's gonna have a both of those have concrete foundations on them. Well, yes, KCB, but I can easily sell my home and my property. That's not a problem. Now we get the same amount of money that I paid for it. Probably even more because of the cost of housing. So I'd probably end up getting more money from selling this house. You see, I have to manually switch my business line off at 5. But I'm going to switch over to phone.com, and that way it does it automatically. Well, there's not really a town anymore so much, that guy. The downtown's abandoned. The main street in downtown for Piedmont is abandoned. There's literally nothing there, but they're working to get it put back together. Should you move down here to Piedmont? Piedmont's a bit different, I'll tell you that. It's a very slow town, which is why I bought my property out here. But, you know, if you're not used to the quietness, then you probably won't like it. There's also nothing to do around Piedmont, so I have to go to Greenville if I want to do anything, but I'm only like 2 miles away from it. But there is, I've told you guys about Thomas Creek Brewery. That's about a half mile up the road, and I can get Thomas Creek Brewery beer directly from the brewery. They also have a bar set up inside where, you know, you can listen to live country music, have some wings, and have some beer from Thomas Creek. Thomas Creek makes awesome beer, you know. So if anything, at least I can get some wings. There's also a black restaurant, Venu, that's a little bit less distance. But I don't really like that place. I didn't like the aura, but it could have been just that day. Pugman, yeah, I've noticed that Richard hasn't been working out. You know, the funny thing is, he was laughing at me for using the Total Trainer. But this is all the more reason why I use a Total Trainer in combination with going to the gym. Because if you try to lift heavy all the time, that's when you get hurt. On a Total Trainer, you know, you don't risk getting hurt or injured. And then when your body's all built up and you're not getting hurt, you can go to the gym and lift as heavy as you want because you're naturally stretched out. Richard works out very infrequently, Pugman, which is the reason why he gets hurt. He needs to work out more. How far is the nearest gym? It takes me about 15 minutes to drive to the gym I go to. But that can't be helped. There is another gym, but it's Crunch Fitness, but I don't want to go there. I like having a pool and a steam room and a sauna room and a place to get a massage. What do I think about New Hampshire? I've only been there once. It's a very quaint town, but very expensive. Or excuse me, it's a very quaint state, but it's very expensive. I'll be making a video about that, Matt, tomorrow, amongst other things. But I think the situation is getting out of hand. I mean, At least Bravo's getting a lot of traffic to his channel because they're arguing back and forth. You know, they just need to settle it privately instead of all out in the open. But I think it's getting ridiculous. And I mean, for the most part, it's Greg that's at fault of this. You know, you can't be messing with someone's family, or even so much as mention it. The heaviest I've gone on dumbbells in the gym within the past 2 years is I did do a 110 dumbbell press. That's 110 on each side. But, you know, that was just, I was only testing to see if I still had it in me, which I do. For the most part, I'll use 60 and 70 for dumbbell presses. At this point in age, I don't need to be going heavy in weight, but, you know, I always still have to test myself on occasion. I wish I had shot a video of that. I need to definitely shoot a video of that next time I do a test. Well, Matt, a lot of them are going to start asking for. Wait a minute, you're talking about a gym, not a hospital. They asked for a Vax card. What city and state you live in, Matt? I'm just curious. I've never heard of a gym asking for stuff like that. That's very odd. That is very odd. Well, I mean, the UK's, I can see that happening. Yes, that's correct. Some people were refunded fully. Long Island is ridiculous on all fronts. It's amazing such a conservative area is so ridiculous with nickeling and diming you. Well, Long Island isn't conservative per se. You have to remember that you have to go by what's encompassed. New York in its entirety is a liberal state, okay? So it doesn't matter if you live in a certain conservative area of the state, it's a liberal state. That's why I tell people to move down south, you know, because it's not the city itself there, my friend. It's the state, okay? Now, the thing about it is North Carolina is half liberal and half conservative, and I grew up in Asheville, the most liberal city out there. I would say almost the most liberal city in the USA, or competing for it at the very least. That's why I moved to South Carolina. It's a lot more conservative. Jobs are available, and, you know, because at the end of the day, you need to worry about your finances, your peace and quiet, and how they deal with law enforcement. As long as you keep your nose clean, you're not going to get nightstick to death or anything, you know. Just saying. But Long Island is liberal, even though it's a conservative area. But as long as it sits in a liberal state, you're fucked, you know. There's two 24-hour gyms where I live. There's Coops Fitness. I used to train there. If I stopped working out at Sports Club, I would train at Coops. And then there's then there's a bunch of Planet Fitnesses. There's like 2 or 3. All of those are 24-hour places. But that's the way Planet Fitness has always been. Yeah, Port Jefferson's pretty nice. I have had friends live in Long Island, and I'm friends with Dave Palumbo. He knows all about Long Island as well as Greg Valentino. So I know what it's like. I've been to New York. I was never in Long Island, and Lord knows I would definitely never enter Oyster Bay. But it's in a liberal state. So you're gonna get screwed. Yeah, but you can't avoid the taxes there, Matt, and that's the whole thing. In South Carolina, it's a lower cost of living because you're not having to pay for bullshit that you get in California. That's why Palumbo and them moved down to Florida. If you want to get away from that mess, go south. Go to a conservative state, Why don't I become a personal trainer again? I consider a personal trainer sort of like a telemarketer. I worked as a telemarketer in the late 90s. I think at this point in time, personal trainers are going the way of the dodo. And a lot of these gyms that are hiring personal trainers, you have to give a free session. And like 99% of them, once they get that free session at the gym, they never ask for personal training services again. Now, a buddy of mine, Bobby Thompson, he has a personal training studio. But in South Carolina, it's just not viable. There's very few personal training studios around. Most people just go to the Planet Fitness. If I lived in a more health conscious place, Greenville, South Carolina, by the way, is not health conscious whatsoever. It's pork laden, in other words. If I lived in another area which was health oriented, then I would consider opening up a personal training studio. But good question. I mean, I got the degrees on the wall. I can go back to being a personal trainer. So, that's definitely an option. Maybe I can train part-time at a gym or something. Yeah, who knows? And I mean, once you've done the job over and over, you can do it again. I had a buddy that moved to Hilton Head. Yeah, I've been there. I get my alcohol from the Hilton Head distillery. That's what I keep on my shelf. Very nice. No, I wouldn't want to live in the Hamptons. Screw that. Yeah, my property taxes are like $60. I think I looked at it last time. It's like $60 or $100. It's really not much for Piedmont. If I lived in Greenville, it'd be much higher. It'd be like maybe $400 or $500. This is annually, folks. There's not really any property taxes in Piedmont because it's pretty desolate. You're talking about this place only has like a population of maybe 3,000 people. Exactly. It's like a co-op with cliches. You know how much my utilities were this month? My electric bill was $115 for this month, and that's only because I had the air conditioning on a whole bunch. But now that the weather's dropping, it'll drop back down to its 70. Oh, yes, there's plenty of counterfeit cigars out there, Pugman. There's a bunch of them. You have to be careful when someone says that they'll sell you a Cuban. I mean, the counterfeit ones they mainly try to counterfeit Cuban cigars like Cohibras from Cuba. Not so much other ones. But, anyone that does smoke a Cuban cigar, they'll know by the first puff if they actually got a real one or not. But yeah, there is a lot of counterfeit cigars. The supermarkets make Manhattan seem cheap. One good thing around here is, there's the White Horse Flea Market that I go to if I need to get certain things. If I need something real cheap or so forth, if I wanted fresh eggs, for example, I can go down to White Horse Flea Market. There's this Mexican couple. They have fresh eggs. They literally have chickens and roosters running around the place. And they're the freshest eggs out. They just got laid. So, plus if you go there, the good thing about flea markets is you can get a whole bunch of things like dishwashing liquid, detergents, and stuff for real cheap. Can't do that in Manhattan. They may have swap meets, but nothing compared to the South. You bought cold cuts, bread, coffee, and tuna and stuff. Jeez, that's a lot of money, KCB. That's way too much. That is a lot. Well, one thing about Piedmont, everyone keeps to themselves. If I'm driving around and I'm picking up my mail, we just wave hey to each other. But, I don't really speak to my neighbors too much. There was a older lady that I used to speak to for like maybe every time, because she would just sit out on her porch. But she went to a nursing home, and I think she's passed away since then. But that was when I first moved in. But the thing about the South is everyone keeps to themselves. Now, if I smell some barbecue, a brother's going to come over there, like, hey, I was smelling that over there. You don't mind if I get a hookup on a hot dog, Oh, I'm definitely not smoking fakes, Pugman. The reason being is because I smoke work cigars. I get the Cigars International brand cigars. They're generic cigars that I have. The only other mixed cigars that I get from them is Gurkha Hudson Bays. So all of them are Cigars International brand cigars. That's what I mainly keep nowadays in my humidor. And when I want a fancy cigar, then I'll go to Boda's. So I never have to worry about fakes, because I don't need to go get a Cuban cigar or anything like that. A nice aging room Nicaraguan cigar. You put that up against that, I think an aging room cigar is way better than a Cuban. I think people just have a fantasy with Cuban cigars because they're illegal. But most of my cigars in my humidor are generic cigars. They're hand rolled Dominican and Nicaraguan cigars, and they're very good, but they're genetic. No, mine are not floor sweepings. Yes, they're floor sweepings are what's called Cuban sandwiches, KCB. But all my cigars, even though they're Cigars International brand, they're all long filler. I did have some Cuban sandwiches, which are good if you're short on money, which I was 2 months ago when I was putting some stuff together, plus buying the router. So I had a couple of Cuban sandwiches. There's nothing wrong with Cuban sandwiches, KCB, because you have to remember that they're still from premium cigars. The only issue they have is that you're not going to get that big ash. And they do spill all over the place, but they still make a good cigar, you know, because they're using the same tobacco. And they burn quick. But good question. There's a guy across the street 20 seconds away. It's a Cuban guy and his wife running a cigar business. I mean, that's a good trade. I mean, you know, there's some cigar shops where they roll their cigars themselves and they sell them. There's in the White Horse Flea Market. There's a guy that actually, you know, he just sits there and makes cigars. Just right in front of you. He charges like $20 a cigar. I've had one before. It's an awesome cigar. I mean, you can make some good money if you know how to roll cigars. Remember when I used to beef with Trips and Rackpool? Okay. I don't really beef with Trips anymore, or man, I don't really speak much with Rackpool. But Trips is still playing those video games. He says he's gonna one day be serious about his channel, but you know, that remains to be seen. I think Frank Tufano is Vegan Gaines' polar opposite. I mean, both of them have been on OnlyFans. Both of them have stuck dildos up their ass. Frank Tufano has an extra caveat. He's actually on X Hamster. Someone had actually sent me a link to Frank's X Hamster video. You can punch in Frank Tufano porn in Google and actually check it out. But someone sent me the link to it, and needless to say, it was pretty disgusting. But both of them can have each other. I never visited Fire Island Quick Pump. It was just a quick trip to New York. I didn't spend much time there. If someone wants the grass hay profile on a cigar, the best cigar I know is what is the name of that? Is it a Drew Estates Cargo? Who makes Cargo cigars? Yeah, Rocky Patel Cargo. If you want a cigar that has that grass hay flavor profile, get a Rocky Patel Cargo. I mean, if you smoke one of those, you'll definitely get that. You'll definitely get the hay and the grass and everything. Well, KCB, they're still Cuban sandwiches. There are some good premium ones where they haven't fallen on the floor. But you know, if you can't afford a good cigar, and you're not gonna go into a cigar club or anything like that, and you just need something to smoke on, Cuban sandwiches are really good if you're doing some stuff like mowing the lawn or fishing. That's usually when I recommend someone get a Cuban sandwich, because let's say you're fishing, you drop your cigar in the water for whatever reason, you're not going to get pissed off because it's a cheap cigar, you know? So Cuban sandwich cigars have their place. Isaac, I'm divorced. I've been divorced for about 9 years. Logan Paul. Yeah, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing Logan Paul's name. He still owes all that money from CryptoZoo, but I certainly hope Dylan beats the shit out of him. Most Cuban sandwiches are even though they are floor sweepings or short filter, Now, just remember, to make a Cuban sandwich, you still have to use some long filler in it. It's not going to be all short filler. But the blends are basic. If it's a blend, it's still going to be from a premium cigar blend. So it's all independent. Some of it is just, just one leaf, and then the other ones are different blends. Floor sweepings is a harsh word, but, it is what it is. I mean, he is conservative like me at certain points, but there's other points about Cuban to where he's actually liberal, and he doesn't realize it. If you're asking me if Frank's in the closet or not, I'm more than sure that he's sucked a dick or two, I'm very sure that he has sucked a dick or two, non-negotiable. Gibbon watching that X-Hamster, and I had to turn it off after like 2 minutes. It was just disgusting. And behind the bell bottoms and in television, I don't know what the in television reference is about. It was a good game system at the time, but whether he considers himself in the closet or not, I mean, I've not seen him around any woman or anything like that, so he might be sucking a dick or two from behind. As far as a 212 title is concerned, now that Hitada Yamagishi has won the Master Olympia, if he continues, he might actually pick up the 212 title. But Sean Clarita is looking better and better every time I see him. So I'm actually kind of impressed. I don't think Keon Pearson, I think he still needs some work. Well, KCB, I reserve my expensive cigars I smoke for the cigar lounge, and I just keep regular work cigars at home. I mean, they're good long filler cigars. They're not, they're not expensive. They're good priced. The only thing I have to do is just keep them well aged and in a proper humidor. As long as I do that, it's still a good cigar. But I'm not really in transition. I am smoking a lot less than what I was smoking whenever I was working at Verizon. That I can tell you. Well, Isaac, I would come to the U.S. I wouldn't go to Canada. Canada's too cold. Well, Scatman, it really depends on how you sleep. If you sleep on your side, I would recommend putting a pillow in the back of you, and that'll mitigate that pain. But that's going to be typical if you're a side sleeper. If you sleep on your stomach, then your lower back may hurt. So you may want to put a pillow under, right where your waist is. So it's really going to depend on where you sleep. Wherever you sleep, you're going to put a pillow adjacent to it if you don't want to hurt back. Oh yeah, Iris is way bigger than Hitati. What state am I from? I'm from North Carolina. Sorry, I gotta plug in my phone. Oops. There we go. Now everything's plugged in. Website is off. We're looking good here. But you're going to find that Iris is going to shrink down a bunch. I mean, she's already shrunk down already as it is. Now that she's pretty much retired. But, you know, at her peak, she definitely would have outsized Hitada. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm kind of lazy about that. I need to remember to do that. Greensboro? Okay. Russian plank? I think it's just a sleeping habit there, KCB. But everyone should work out in the morning and get a stretch. Especially when you've been lying in a stationary position for like 6 to 8 hours, depending on how much you sleep. That's actually a lot. That's actually what a lot of Bulgarian and Russian powerlifters actually do with the two chairs. Whatever happened to Renee? Oh, I've not heard that name in a long time. Last time I heard years ago, she was going to get into professional wrestling, but that definitely did not turn out that way. Let me see if I can look her up. Chances are she's probably just working a regular job. Oh, she at least is in Wikipedia. Oh, wow. You know, you always forget about pictures like this. Let's see when this was. This is a recent picture, I guess. Hold on. That's what she looks like today. So she's still. This was from December of last year. So it looks like she's still training, but for what, I have no clue. That guy don't need a CPAP. I've never needed a CPAP. You know, the thing about it is that when you go to a doctor's visit, you always want them to check your O2 levels. Mine O2 levels is at 98%. Also, I don't weigh it. I definitely don't weigh much at this point in time because I've been steadily losing weight. So, but if someone has to lose a CPAP machine, then they really need to drop the weight. Sam Sulik, I'm sure eventually he's going to need to get on a CPAP because he's getting up in weight. Okay, I got you, Ben. I'm not a big fan too much of Greensboro. I thought the city was kind of blasé. For an advanced lifter, do you think the traditional one body part a day is more effective than the full body workout? I don't like the one body part a day because you know you would have you would have to work 6 days a week in working out, or even 7. And let's say you miss a day, then you got to double up. It's just better than, I mean, for me, full body workouts work a lot better. But I rotate them with, major body parts for a 4-day workout instead of a 3-day. So on occasion, I do break it up. And that way, it just gives me variety. But I actually like the full body workouts. I always feel like I get a full workout, with it. Yeah, that was a she. That was Renee Tony. Trey Brewer has shrunk all the way down. He looks like a regular person at this point. That was the last time I checked. He's shrunk down. He's gone. You would, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. You wouldn't know if you saw him. You wouldn't know him on the streets. You really wouldn't. Bodybuilding is bad for the environment due to the increased need for beef. If you really want to know the truth, bodybuilding is actually less meat consuming. The reason being is because what do bodybuilders drink? They drink protein shakes. What are protein shakes made from? Milk. There would be less cows needed if the whole world was populated by bodybuilders, because they're going to drink protein shakes as opposed to eating meat, especially for shows. So there's less meat consumed with bodybuilding. Am I a religious man? I mean, I am religious, but I don't go too crazy with it. Antonio, hope you're doing well. I'm just hanging in there. Oh, Sam started his cutting cycle series. Okay, I guess he won't have to worry about that machine. But once he turns pro, which I'm gonna guess he's probably gonna end up turning pro given his physique and his genetics. He'll have to drop. He'll have to drop on that CPAP machine because he's gonna get over 300 easy. Well, that guy, Troy, as well as any retired bodybuilder, is going to need TRT for the rest of their lives. No different than me. What caused me to lose it was when I took Delta 6 methyl testosterone. Eventually my hormonal system collapsed, but Troy, as well as any other retired bodybuilder, is going to have to be on TRT for the rest of their lives. So, yeah. But yeah, Troy looks still looking pretty good. Personal training business is doing awesome as well. If he's going to start his cutting cycle, then the last thing he would want to do is start carbing up. That doesn't make any bit of sense whatsoever. Well, Isaac, I've eaten lab-grown meat, and I'm wanting to get more lab-grown meat out there. I mean, it's real meat. It's going to feed the planet. It's going to bring the cost of food down. One thing you're going to notice is you're going to notice a lot of restaurants are going to start buying the lab-grown meat anyway. So in about maybe 5 or 10 years, if you go out to a restaurant, you're going to be eating lab-grown meat. Because the one thing about lab-grown meat is it can be customized. Thoughts on Brad's water retention? The only thing he needs to be retaining is his money because of that gym closing, But I don't think nothing of it. I've not even really noticed it. I mean, your body goes through different cycles in life, so. Yeah, he's a personal trainer. And you see, that's an example of what I was, Pugman, if you're still here, that's what I was meaning. Arizona, where Troy lives, Arizona, they're very health conscious people. Because you notice all these people are dying from hiking out into these mountains and stuff. I mean, people in Arizona, they love to walk. So if I lived in a place like Arizona and it was, a place that was health oriented, I would definitely consider personal training. Well, Brad may be enjoying life. That is always a possibility. Yeah, I've been to Phoenix. It's roasting hot. And then you got scorpions and everything. I don't want to get stung by a scorpion. Nope. Yeah, I still wouldn't move to places like. I mean, they're just too hot. I like my heat and everything, but I don't want to be burning off my skin. I'm already black enough already. You know, I don't want to be freaking pitch black and look like one of those old 1930s Looney Tune cartoons type black people. And the worst thing about it is that Arizona has dry heat. That means if you put out some bread out on the counter and come back like 15 minutes later, it's all freaking dried out. Well, people will. You're going to find more carnivores will also go to lab-grown meat because they'll be able to, like I said, with lab-grown meat, you can customize how much fat is in it. So there are going to be a lot of carnivores that'll get rid of all the fat and just have nothing but meat. Well, Jason, we don't know whether he's bloated because he's running tests. Honestly, I haven't really noticed. He has gotten bigger in the face and everything from 4 years ago. But we don't know if he's running Trent or not. Jay Masters called me a good guy? That's awful nice of him. When did he call me a nice guy? I'd have to check the video. Did he do that on an Instagram video or YouTube? $40 degrees Celsius? Who is this? I mean, sometimes the temperature up here gets to 102 or so, or 100 degrees. Usually it stays around 80 to 90 degrees. But it's not dry heat. It's got a little bit of humidity in it. And that's just the whole thing. 104 I can deal with. It's just that it's 104 in dry heat. That means you're getting burned. When you have a temperature with humidity, you don't really get burned. You just get saunaed. But God, I would hate to be around 104 degrees Fahrenheit with nothing but dry air. Just horrible. Well, go make yourself some veggie soup. That actually sounds pretty good, but I'm actually going to be making chili tomorrow. Oh, Trent will cause bloat. Tests cause less bloat, but no, Trent will always bloat. So Believe me, I'm an expert at it because that's pretty much mostly what I sold when I was selling the stuff. And that's the stuff that I mainly took. Tren puts on a lot of good muscle, but it will get you bloated. If you're wanting to stay away from getting bloated, then just run pure test. Well, I mean, when you say 40 degrees Celsius, that's over 100. That's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. What does he call that type of stuff? Sanjay chicken. I would. Richard doesn't have a recipe. He just puts goop together. You know, going and taking oatmeal and then putting in a vegan powder and mixing it with blueberries. That's not a recipe. The way I make oatmeal is I use steel cut. I take a little olive oil. I'll actually roast the oatmeal before I put water in it, and then I'll let it sit overnight. And it has a really nice smoky flavor. Then I'll put a little either butter or salt, or I'll put a little bit of sugar in there. And oatmeal is awesome. There's no need to put all that garbage in oatmeal. Just keep it plain and keep it simple. I did not catch his live stream from yesterday. I was pretty busy. Oh, I always put beans in my chili, Scatman. Probably not this one. I need to get some ranch beans, but I got to run to Aldi anyway. So I'll probably pick them up. When you add beans to chili, you get more filled up and it stretches the chili even longer. As a black man, you need lots of hot sun to keep your vitamin D up. I mean, I take a myriad of vitamins and minerals. I take a cranberry tablet every day, for example, to help out with my urinary system, to avoid things like kidney stones. So, I mean, I have that all worked out. So, especially the vitamin D. But the thing about it is, I keep my windows open, so I'm still getting plenty of sun. And then of course, naturally, I go out. Are there any hot chicks in Piedmont? Yeah, there are. I mean, you'll find hot chicks anywhere. I wouldn't put it. I mean, I think dog food would be a harsh word for it. But he doesn't cook. He just reheats food. You know, years ago he used to actually cook, but it looks like he's gotten lazy about it. Doesn't cook anymore. I eat cream of wheat mixed with whey protein. Oh, that sounds pretty good. That sounds very healthy. Yes, I've done that before, Scatman. You have to be really careful. You have to make sure you're using the right candles. If you're using regular candles, you're gonna definitely burn your lover. You have to get the candles that are specific to where they don't burn like that. A lot of people use the wrong type of candles when doing it. In my case, the person I was with used the wrong candles, but live and learn. I'm 46 years old, Isaac. There's some good-looking chicks around here in their 20s, but you can find that anywhere. Does cream of wheat work with, I wouldn't want that. Not with cream of wheat. Slobber eats sludge. Weed gives me a headache. If I was going to do anything, it would be an edible. Well, yes, Isaac. That's what I mainly used all throughout whenever I was competing. I used a low carb to ketogenic diet. I mean, if you ever heard of the Beverly diet, it's 50% protein, 30% fats, and 20% carbs. And for many years I did the Beverly diet. No, this was just the stomach there, Jason, and it left some pretty bad burn marks, but they have healed up since then. I wonder if she's still working at that place. Probably is. Well, yeah, I don't drink as much alcohol as I used to, but I still drink alcohol. It's especially good for you at my age. You have to remember that, it's when you're drinking alcohol in moderation, it does lower your blood pressure and, it does relieve stress. Stress is the one thing that'll actually end up getting you killed. It'll give you a heart attack. So, the less stress you have in a life, the longer and healthy life you are supposed to live. Although, anything can happen in this day and age. Would it be dangerous to let it run down the butt crevice? You'll just get your back burned. By that time, it would have cooled down, Scatman. Yes, Vegan Gains is my third cousin, actually, not second. At least according to Ancestry.com, as well as my mom and my dad. I didn't take Ancestry's word for it, so I went and asked my mom and dad. There's Burgesses in my family, so everything seems to fit right. Yeah, Jason, I saw one of Veganism Exposes videos to where she was complaining about Richard clogging the toilet. But I mean, you have to think about it. Vegans eat all that plant material and stuff. So yeah, they're gonna definitely be clogging the toilet. And it must reek like a motherfucker. I bet you it does. No, I don't have kids. Just the nieces and the nephews. That's it. Love my nieces and nephews. Just gotta get my nephew to quit fighting so much. That's the thing about kids these days. Sometimes they just want to get themselves in a fight. At this point, Ben, I would agree with you that it's more of that type of relationship. And don't forget that when Richard tried to put his hands on her butt, she got all mad and everything. So, but at least Richard has this orc porn to jerk off to. But I'll be honest with you, Richard did that all himself. You don't watch porn in front of your wife. You know what he needs to do? He needs to watch that movie Fireproof with Kirk Cameron. I think that movie would really help him out. But the biggest thing about Richard is he doesn't have any religion. He's an atheist, you know. He has a thought process is that when he dies, he's going to rot in the ground. Very sad. Well, Jason, I mean, given the videos, he probably uses the dildo still, and you know, I think it's going the other way, my friend. So, well, obviously, I'm not going to have any kids or anything like that, but they can be rambunctious. Why does anyone say on stream I'll watch hentai when they're because they're idiots. They're idiots. It's the same as people that are coming out of the closet and everything like that. Just tell your parent, if your parents ask, that's perfectly fine. Tell them that you're gay. But you don't need to make a big, giant, spectacular announcement. Because think about it. When you're telling someone that you're gay, that means you're telling your parents that you like to take it up the ass or that you like to fuck other men's asses. That's what you're really saying. That's what they're thinking in their head, Now, I got outed, but if my mom had ever asked me, I would have told her and been honest with her. But people make so big of a drama out of it. I mean, but you have to be realistic, when you go and announce that you're gay, that means you like to fuck other men. That's what you're telling your parents. That's why there's a level of shock for most parents. Mom, Dad, I like to fuck other men. I just wanted to let you know. Parents are not going to say, Some parents are just like, okay, well, we already knew, That's the thing. Parents have an instinctive, are going to have the instinct to know whether you're a homo or not. I mean, they really are. They're going to know. Yeah, it's not my business to get myself too involved in their relationship. Because I mean, the thing about it is that obviously some of their issues come out whenever he's doing the live stream. But even whenever Richard turns off the camera for the other 20 hours in a day, we don't really know what's happening between the two. I just don't think people should come out. I mean, if their parents ask, you can introduce them to if you have a boyfriend, go and introduce your parents to your boyfriend. You don't have to announce it like in a spectacular fashion or anything. Because the thing about it is your parents are already going to know. Do you think Blaha told his dad he likes to be pegged? No. The thing about Blaha is there's not any... there are rumors about it, and of course... well, no, I forgot that other lady went and told me. I don't think a dad would disown a person just because he was getting pegged. I forgot about that lady. Ugh. I forgot about old Cherry. What's your favorite thing to eat with hummus? Usually I'll have I usually eat hummus with pita bread. I mean, there's really not much you can eat with hummus other than pita bread or some sort of cracker. I don't know how long has his streams been. I mean, I run my React videos for 4 hours. And the only reason why I run them for 4 hours is because whenever you're reviewing a video, it can take me up to an hour just to review one. Uh, so I'm not sure how long he streams. Has he been streaming for over 8 hours or so, along with gaming? I'm just curious I wonder what was his longest live stream he's ever done. Nice piece of sourdough toast with cucumbers and poached egg with. I'd probably have to leave off the avocado. That's just not my thing. I had cooked baby carrots with warm hummus last night. I've always thought hummus was like a dipping, was really a dip rather than something that you would cook with. But when it comes to that, I just like eating the stuff separately. I don't want to put anything in it. I really don't put much into oatmeal. My favorite thing is just butter and salt, I'm kind of boring. Yeah, I spoke with Jen Willett, but I can't release any of those tapes, as I mentioned last year. Four in the morning, so he streams for like 7 hours. That's not too healthy, especially since he's doing it so many days. I did dip. I put it in a glass bowl and warmed dinner. Okay. No, I haven't started the job yet because the pay was kind of janky. So, but I got a friend that there's a couple of other franchises, so I'll check with them. So, I mean, the good thing is that I got choices. I'll go to bed. So he's just streaming until he gets super tired. That's not healthy. Would not date Ben Chow. Nope. What is this here? Not enough bandwidth is just fine. Weird. But anyway, I wouldn't date him. He has a long horse face. That's why I wouldn't date him. Looks like a horse. Well, Ben, don't forget, is his only source of income. I mean, I stream a bunch, but I still got my websites to run, which is a super task within itself. Especially now that I have the Cellular Cowboy site actually running. I couldn't get it set up with Google, so I have it on I have it on Bing right now. But that's kind of janky as well. Which of the hobbits? From what movie, Scatman? I mean, I wouldn't smash a midget or anything. But there's been plenty in a lot of movies. I really like Andrew Jack. I think he's going to be a future Mr. Olympia, that guy. I honestly think he's doing very well. So I would say Andrew Jack. Yeah, he won't be able to keep that up too long. I mean, think about hobbits for a minute. They got big, hairy feet, you know. I mean, they're ugly. And of course, obviously, they live in a hill. You know, I mean, I'm sure it's probably going to be comfortable temperature-wise, but it's still a hole in the ground. So, so you got a small, you got a midget with pointy ears, big giant clodhopper feet with hair on them, and you live in a hole, you know, like a fucking groundhog. Of course, I wouldn't date any of those people. Well, Hunter's gonna come up. He's getting better, but I think Andrew Jack is. I think that's where the money is. But of course, for now, as long as Hadi Chupan is competing, gonna be very hard to beat him. Very difficult. Am I gay? Yes, I'm gay. If you, hey, we've discussed that a million times here. I couldn't imagine doing a 20-hour live stream unless I was doing some video gaming. I mean, I'm fully capable of doing an 8 to 10-hour live stream. You have to remember I worked at Verizon and I talked on the phone for like 8 to 10 hours a day. But I would have to be doing video gaming to do 10 hours. I definitely wouldn't do 20 hours. That's insane. I think for a lot of them, Frank. Oh, by the way, I hope you're doing well. Frank, for a lot of those people in the Master Olympia, taking that much gear just to be in the Master Olympia for at a time in their age to where, you know, they're going to be prone to a heart attack and everything. I don't think it's a good idea. I believe I'll see the two battling. They're going to be going at each other, that's for sure. I think he took like multiple naps halfway through and people started commenting. Well, that's not really doing 20 hours if he's taking naps in between it. That reminds me of you guys seen Collie Muscles live stream to where he was streaming him taking sleeping at night. I mean, that was just ridiculous. I would need about 16 weeks, Jason, in order for me to be stage ready to get on stage. It'd definitely be more than a month. You have to understand that I would need to. The most I could probably lose within a given month would be maybe 15 or 16 or 4 pounds a week. So to compete, and the amount of weight I would need to lose probably would be around 60. So yeah, you'd be looking at I would need at least 16 weeks to get down to my target weight, which is 190 pounds. Or actually, excuse me, 177. That was my last competition weight, was 177. I would probably end up being a little heavier, so I may be off on those numbers. Because I have put on muscle ever since I competed. Well, Infinite, I mean, that's just nature. People want to do things quick. They want to get a fast physique. That's why people get things like liposuction and stuff like that. They get liposuction, they get cosmetic surgeries, and of course they'll use steroids and growth hormone. You guys remember Scott Alexander, right? He had all that growth hormone all over his house. I mean, everybody wants to be the most powerful human being on the universe, and they want to be. They want to look good. They want to have all the looks. They want to have all the money. They want to have all the cars. They want to have a girl with big voluptuous tits and everything. They want everything. I mean, human beings are some of the most greediest people out there. But steroids is all the same. People that are not competing, they'll take steroids just in order because it's easier to get a physique that way. I've thought about doing a Mr. Olympia live stream watch party, so you'll probably get one this year. I can almost guarantee I will do a Mr. Olympia watch party. I just won't be big in covering the women. I'm not a good judge at women's. I'm a good judge at women's bodybuilding and women's physique, but anything else, the figure and the fitness, the other shit, no, not really. Well, that's the good thing. I won't have to actually show the Olympia. I can simply turn it down, and what I'll do is I'll comment on the physiques that come up. So. Well, I mean, I was at the dock the other day. I was weighing at like 239 with clothes on. So, given the fact that I would need to lose about 60 pounds to come in my target weight at 180, that's the last time I competed. Yeah, that would be 16 weeks. Because I can drop 4 pounds. I can drop that amount. I can drop 4 pounds a week, easy. Collie didn't appear to have a CPAP machine on, so I think he actually needs to. I think he also needs to have one of those external defibrillators. That's why Bray Wyatt passed away, is because he didn't have one. Given the fact that Collie has had multiple heart attacks, he needs to be wearing an external defibrillator. Hey, Chad, what's up? Oh, I definitely don't need to add any more mass. I'm at my genetic limit there, Jason. My muscles are just gonna get mature. It's not gonna get. I'm not gonna get any bigger. I've hit my genetic peak, unless, I mean, in terms of, I mean, I put on more muscle with taking TRT, but I'm not going to take to the point to where it's going to endanger my personal health. I'm just going to take enough to where it keeps my testosterone levels somewhat going. Yeah, well, Ben, Richard is lucky to have someone like Jasmine around. I can't imagine if those two get divorced. I can't imagine vegan. I can't imagine my cousin hooking up with anyone else. No, I'm not going to do something like that, Frank. That's very dishonest. I'll let people like Repsion do some shit like that. Did I vote for Trump? The election hasn't even happened yet, Isaac. Well, Nick Trigilli did a watch party. Well, the issue with watch parties, the reason why they probably don't do it is because of the length of time. That's why I would only end up doing if I was gonna, when I do the Mr. Olympia live stream, I'm only gonna cover men's 212 and men's open bodybuilding, and that's it. I'm not gonna waste my time with the women or bitches or anything. I only bench 225 now for a lot of reps. I don't do 3 or 400 anymore. No more heavy weights. So what I'm benching at this time is 225. I've never been good at benching anyway because I have really long arms. That's why I prefer using dumbbell presses instead. P for P, what's up? Do I long for the changes in the leaves and the darker days, the snow and the hot drinks? No. I'm okay with cold weather. When the weather cools down, I'll hang outside on my porch and everything. But other than that, you know, I've been, and it's probably because I've been through too many seasons. I mean, being 46, you know, autumn is autumn, winter is winter, you know. No, I did not vote for Trump in 2016, nor did I vote for Hillary. Did not vote for either one of them. He would not be able to. Voted for Colin Powell. Right in. No woman would want something like that. He's more lucky to. Can someone hit 315 on an incline if they... You're talking about a different angle, that guy? Probably not. It's going to vary. Some people are stronger on the incline than they are on the flat bench, and then vice versa. I'm actually stronger doing an incline than I am doing a flat bench press. But some people are actually stronger on a flat bench press and weaker on the incline. It really depends on how long your arms are. Do I think... I don't know. I don't even want to think about that, you know. Is dating a trans woman make you gay? Depends if it's pre or post. If it's pre-op, you probably are gay. If it's post-op, maybe not. He just didn't have the interest in being president. I mean, but that's actually a good thing. You have to remember that he was he was a general. Eventually, they're gonna make him posthumously. They're gonna probably make him a 5-star general, uh, much like Washington and MacArthur and Eisenhower. They'll probably end up giving him a 5th star. But yeah, as president, a lot of generals like that. There's only really been one. There's only been really 2 presidents that have been generals, I believe. It would be Washington and Eisenhower. I could be highly wrong on that. Most generals, they want to keep their prestigious position, so they don't want to dirty their hands being in politics. So that's why a lot of generals are not president, because they don't want to sully their reputation as a general. Because remember, once you get into politics, you're playing dirty. So that's probably why Colin Powell didn't become president. Not only that, he got screwed over with the whole Iraqi thing. Oh, little Dick Cheney, little punk bitch. Real schizophrenia is no joke. Whoever said it was a joke, if you're referring to me talking to Vegan Gains about it, I've only given him recommendations to cool down. A lot of his stress and anger is due to just constantly doing the thing over and over again. He doesn't go to any parties. He doesn't go out. He doesn't drink. He tried to take nicotine tablets and they didn't work, He just sits there and streams and plays video games, and that's it. He goes out and gets groceries. He'll go rollerblading, but he isn't doing anything. He's not having fun with life. And he's in his 30s, At his age, he should be having the time of his life. I'll tell you one thing, when I was in my 30s, did you think I was staying at home? No, 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 no. No! I didn't stay home. I was out having a good time, In fact, I wasn't just having a good time. I was having a great time. But yeah. He's already tried shrooms too and it doesn't work. He just needs to go out and have some fun. What are my opinions on e-bikes and e-scooters? I think they're good for city travel. If I was living in the city, I would have an e-bike or a regular bike because it's easier to get around as opposed to a car. Out here in South Carolina, I definitely wouldn't have it. So it depends on what environment you're in. You still need a license for an e-bike and an e-scooter. Well, maybe not for an e-bike, but you do need one for a scooter. Hot cocoa or pumpkin spice? I actually like pumpkin spice. Ben, I think Richard is autistic, actually. I honestly think Richard's I think my cousin's autistic. He's not schizophrenic or anything. I think he's autistic and he has a couple of psychopathic. I mean, when he was talking about his dreams and stuff, I was just kind of disgusted with it. But I think he's autistic, actually. Well, diet can be a factor, but, it's also genetics as well. Because remember, even when he was, he's already mentioned that he's had it lifelong, and he hasn't been a vegan all his life. So, given the fact that he had depression before he was a vegan, I don't think it really has anything to do with his diet. He became a vegan like 10 years ago. From what I believe it was in 2013, so I didn't spend my life on the forums, Scatman. I'm still on the forums. But you know the time that you never saw me on the forums? At 10 p.m. You want to know why? Because I was going out the freaking the castle, you know. I was going out the scandals, you know. I mean, I will say that I was on the forums a lot more, but what are people spending their time on these days? Facebook. I don't really think Richard is schizophrenic. I mean, he's not seeing things or anything like that. He definitely has mental issues. He has depression. And like I said before, I think he's autistic as well. I'm more than sure that he may be autistic. Oh yes, I saw grade A under A. I used to be subscribed. He had an awesome channel, but he had mental issues as well. I don't think he's been seen since. He had some bad mental issues, or still does. I get my grass cut, Chris. I don't cut my own grass. It's actually cheaper. You have to think about it. If I was to cut my grass, I would have to spend like $2,000 for a lawnmower. Then I have to pay for gas. Then I would have to pay maintenance to upkeep it, and then I have to waste. I have to spend the time. You know, why do all that? It's the same with my groceries. Sam's Club, I have my stuff delivered. It's an $8 delivery fee. I have an Amex card, so I get my stuff from Walmart delivered for free. You see, the reason why I have things delivered and stuff like that is because my time is valuable. The amount of money I make is dependent upon how much time I spend talking to customers. So, if I'm spending hours on end mowing my grass and maintaining it, then I'm losing money. If I'm spending time driving out to Sam's Club in order to shop around and pick up what I need, and it's going to take me about 2 hours, then I'm wasting time. The same with going all the way around through Walmart. I'm wasting time. You know, all that is time that can be better spent. The only exception is whenever I need to get things like fresh onions, fresh asparagus. That's the only time where I'll actually go out and buy it myself. But other than that, I would end up spending more money if I cut my own grass. I mean, folks, you guys should also get stuff delivered as well. Try to get as much stuff delivered as possible. Take advantage of discounts that you may have on your card. And trust me on this, you'll save a lot of time, Time is always valuable. I had stuff delivered from Sam's Club yesterday, and then I had my delivery today at 1 p.m. I ordered in the morning, had it by 1:30, So all my grocery shopping's done, so I can spend more time resting, relaxing. Well, yeah, they mess them up sometimes. But, I have a pair, they accidentally delivered a pair of bed risers to me. And they just told me to keep the bed risers. So I have a set of bed risers. But yeah, they do screw up orders. Sometimes they get a substitution for a product. But you can always type in what you're going to get as a substitute. Or you can just take it off. Yes, we'll have another pandemic, maybe in about 100 years. I mean, if you think about it, really, the last pandemic we had was in the 1920s. So it seems as though we have pandemics every 100 years. Hopefully if the next pandemic happens, I'm not around. Hey, what's up, Lionheart? We got about 10 minutes left, so let me make sure I do the Soul Poll. If you're constantly debating people who are mentally irritating, then of course you're going to be. Well, no, he just has some natural problems with it. I mean, it exacerbates the situation. I would agree with you on that. But his activities and habits, he's still going to have depression even if he takes my advice, but it wouldn't be so pronounced if he went out and partied and he took it easy a little bit, you know. His mental issues are more pronounced because of his own activities. He doesn't do anything except stream and play video games. And he plays very violent video games. Very violent ones. Would I ever do a prison style workout video? No. Because I was a corrections officer, I never did prison workouts. We had our own workout facility under the jail. And it was really just a power rack and some dumbbells and like one of those cheap little exercise bikes, but it worked. But if ever I was pulling a double, for example, when I did a double shift, or sometimes my favorite thing I would do is a double and a half or a 12-hour shift. That way I didn't have to, a lot of times I like doing the 12-hour shifts because here's the thing. My hours at the detention center were from 3:45 to 12:15, okay? So, what happens at 12:15, folks? All the inmates are asleep. So the next 4 hours, I'm just doing nothing but just sitting there. So essentially I get 4 free hours, and I don't have to stay up to where I have to go and feed the inmates. So I can eat, whenever I worked at the detention center, I always worked that extra 4, just simply for the reason that it was literally 4 hours of me just sitting around doing nothing, but doing a check every 30 minutes. And that's simply just walking around the pod. That's easy work, folks. I was getting a free, and that is overtime. That's time. That's whenever you work at the detention center, you get double time for overtime. So literally speaking, I'm going to tell you guys how much I made. So my paycheck was $11.15 an hour. And so when I got paid double, so given a week of 40 hours, I would each week I would have 20 hours of overtime. So you take 20 hours, you times that by, like I say, you get double time, 22. I was literally getting an extra $446 a week just working a simple 4 hours of overtime. You multiply that by 4, that's an extra $1,780. That's $1,700.84 that I collected on top. How hard is that, folks? And all just for sitting around an extra 4 hours with inmates that are asleep. I would not date Max. Ugh. Richard would never go on a cruise to Mexico. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He just wants to sit there. He does need to go to Mexico with Jasmine. I'm sure Jasmine would love to have a vacation. He's just not mentally there. He needs to take off for at least a week. Make some pre-videos or something. He needs to take off at least 2 weeks, just travel, just have some fun. He makes enough money, I believe, or I think so. Oh, plenty of people have tried to escape. They didn't get too far. Well, I got into an argument with another corrections officer over a specific takedown. And we did that at a pretty bad time. We didn't throw blows or anything, Chris. We did that at a time where the Greenville County Council was trying to cut jobs, so they used it as an excuse to actually fire both of us. Now, in any situation when you're working with coworkers, you're going to get into arguments and there's going to be some yelling and stuff, but we didn't push each other or punch each other, but they were just trying to save money, so I didn't have much of a choice. They fired him. I got fired too. I was on, it sounds kind of weird, but that's what happened. I got fired. That's the whole thing about being a public official there, Chris. If you're at a time to where they're trying to cut budget, this is also the time where they were trying to pretty much, and I have to say this was an early version of defund the police. So I didn't leave, I got fired. I've only been fired from 2 jobs. That was one of them. The other one was, it was Teletech. But that was a crap job. And technically I got fired from a 3rd job, but that was a scam operation they were running, so fuck them. So fuck them and they mamas. Yes, you can be a gay CO. They're actually more scared of the gay COs because they think I'm a Fleece Johnson them. I was never a federal prison corrections officer. I worked a couple of places there, Chris. I also did private security work as well. In all a period, maybe combining everything, 2 years. As far as doing security work, I did that for about 11 years, actually. Now, I could go back to American Security, but I'm past that as well. Plus, I wouldn't be able to do my live streams if I was to go back to working at in doing a security position. Because all the security positions would be on second shift, so I would never be able to do a live stream. Nope, not at all. Hey, Pugman. Yeah, it's still going. For another 3 minutes. So we're going to start up the music. Big Herc says gay COs are marks. I certainly wasn't a mark, scat man. And I've been attacked by inmates and they paid the price for it. They really paid the price. I broke one person's arm. Oh, where'd you go to, Pugman? Protein, it's different when you have to remember working in a detention center and corrections. That's a public official, It's not the same as working a regular job. When you get fired from a detention center, I could simply go to another detention center or get transferred over. It means nothing, Protein. It really doesn't. It is 7:00 p.m. You were cutting a tree, Pugman? Yeah. hope you got it unrooted. You know, I've only cut one tree down at one time. I almost ended up killing myself with it. I didn't know how to properly cut it, but fortunately I moved out of the way. Ben, as a corrections officer, you couldn't keep any weapons, so I had no weapons on me. No pepper spray or anything. Only the sergeants had pepper spray. No, we'll have the react video, you know, the regular midnight run tomorrow. That's a 4-hour stream where we do the react videos. But folks, that is it. It is 7 o'clock p.m. That is the end of the Midnight Run UK. I want to thank Vince Goldrum for donating. You always take good care of me. I always appreciate it, you know. I also want to thank everybody for joining me from the UK all the way, the United States. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for the Midnight Run, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gonna have ourselves a lot of fun. I am gonna play the Ruby Classic with Big Lenny and Genova in it. I'm gonna do that one tomorrow. We're gonna review that one. Since we already did the Vega Las Vegas, we're gonna do that as well. Okay? So again, folks, thanks again for joining me. And as always, peace and